رمضان 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 مرحبا يا رمضان.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله وكفى والسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ختم النبيين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. قال الله تعالى بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وأنفقوا مما رزقناكم من قبل أن يأتي أحدكم الموت فيقول رب لولا أخرتني إلى أجل قريب فأصدق وأكن من الصالحين. صدق الله العظيم. I was just given a few minutes to speak, so I'll try to be brief and be within my time frame. No matter how difficult the situation you find yourself in, no matter how difficult is the situation you find yourself in, still do good to others. Still do good to others. Because this is what we have been created for by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is said that life is better when you are happy. Sheikh, life is better when you are happy, but life is at the best when others are happy because of you. Life are at its best, but I say it again, life is better when you are happy. We all have happiness in life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed us, all of us. And we must be grateful for every blessing of Allah, every ni'mah of Allah. Because there is something that we must be grateful for. Always. And there is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may have kept us away from. That could have been serious and detrimental to us. So life is better when you are happy, but life is at its best when others are happy because of you. Be faithful in touching others' hearts. Be an inspiration for others. You know, in this world, nothing in nature lives for itself. If you look around, you see many signs of nature around us, but nothing of nature lives for itself. For example, look at the rivers. Rivers do not drink their own water. Trees do not eat their own fruits. The sun does not shine for itself. And flowers does not spread their fragrance for themselves. They all live for others. And living for others is the rule of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm going to just mention a story and I will conclude. And there is a deep lesson behind this story. This lady, by the name of Mary Johnson, she was living in a house, and unfortunately, the house went into a foreclosure. And she had nowhere to go. You know how difficult it is when you get into a foreclosure and you have nowhere to go, no shelter, no one to go to, no friends, no family. It's difficult. So she was in the same situation. She ended up in a foreclosure. And the clerk came to evict her from the house. He came with an eviction letter. Ma'am, this house as being sold. Because of being in a foreclosure, it's being sold, and you have to leave right away. She said, how can I leave right away? I have nowhere to go. Where would I go? So this clerk said, you know, you have to leave. No matter what, the owner is coming. The person who bought this house, he is coming to take his house, and you have to leave. You can't occupy here anymore. So as he was so harsh to her, someone came in the house. And the person that came in the house came with a letter. He came with a letter. And he said, this letter is a deal that this house was sold, and the owner of this house is this lady. What does he say? The same lady who was being evicted from the house, this person came with a letter and he said, this house is being sold to this lady. She is the owner of the house. Because what did the clerk tell her? Only the owner of the house can keep you here. Nobody else has the authority. So he said, you are the owner of the house. So she was shocked. Said, look, this is the letter. And it had her name in it. That she purchased the house. But she didn't purchase the house. It had her name in it. But she wanted to know, how did this happen? How did this happen? She is now the owner. The person who purchased the house for her said, do you remember me? He said, no, I can't remember you. He said, at one time, what did I say in the beginning? No matter what situation you may be in, no matter what situation you may be in, continue to do good. Because it will come back in mysterious ways to you. So the person said, can you remember who I am? She said, no, I can't remember it. Many years ago. He said, remember, one day I was in the street crying. And you and your husband were walking. And you walked past me. And I stopped both of you. And I was weeping and crying and I was asking for help. Can you help me? Can you help me? I have nowhere to go. I have no food. I need money for something. And you asked me a few questions. Where are your family? Where are your parents? And you said they're all dead. I have nobody with me. And as I was talking to you, you went in your bag. He's telling the lady, you went in your bag and you pulled out an envelope. And on top of the envelope it said rent money. Rent. And she took out her rent because she was renting also somewhere. She took out her rent money to give something to this young man who was asking, who was in desperate need. And the husband gets upset. And he says, we are in a desperation. We are in a need and you're giving away? You are giving it to somebody else? I can't take this. And he just walked away. So you deal with it. So she took out the envelope and she began taking a few $100s from the envelope. And then she said, you know what? You take everything. Whatever money was in the envelope, she said, you take everything. Go. So the young man said, you don't know me, I don't know you. And you are giving me all the money in your possession right now? How would I ever repay you in my life? I don't know you, you don't know me. How would I ever repay you? She said, when you do a good, she's telling him, when you do a good, God will do many other goods for you in the future, in your life. God will do many other goods for you. She said, the way you will pay me back is such that when you get back on your feet, you get going and start working, help someone else who is in need. That's the way of paying me back. Help another person. I help you, let this continue. So this young boy, after many years, he grew up to be a very successful realtor. He became a successful realtor. So he said one day, he was on his computer looking for houses, foreclosures. Many of realtors are here, right? Brother Mirza, and so on. So many of them are here, so he was on the computer looking for houses, and he saw this name, Mary Johnson, that her house is in foreclosure, and it's about to be sold. So he remembered that this was the lady who gave me something when I was in need. So he purchased the house for her in her name. He purchased it for her in her name. And he said, look, this was your kindness to me when I had nothing. What did you tell me? When you do one good, you will get back a lot in rewards. You will get back so very good. So God rewarded you for that good you did to me. Now this house came and it's yours. It's yours. But she said, how would I pay you back? Remember? He had asked her, how would I pay you back? When she had given him something, she is telling him now, you did such a great favor to me. How would I ever pay you back? So he said to her, remember what you told me? Remember what you told me? When you get back on your feet, do something good for someone else, and that's how you will pay me back. So make someone happy in life. You have these children, make them happy. Bring that joy and that jubilation and that smile on their face. And Nabi of Allah, I will conclude. The Prophet ﷺ said, إِنَّ مِنْ أَفْضَلِ الْأَعْمَالِ Do you know what is one of the best action a person can do? He did not say pray salah. And Nabi of Allah did not say go for hajj. He did not say fast salah. All these things he did not mention. So one of the best actions you can do is to bring joy to someone else. Give them joy, make them happy, make them smile. Who knows, that smile may come to your rescue and my rescue one day, inshallah, when we will need it the most. So when the appeal will be made today, make these children smile. Go into your pockets. Whatever Allah has given you the tawfiq and the ability to do it and make these children smile, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us so that we can give generously tonight and fulfill and bring joy to the happiness of these children.